Having taken the lead on stage 2, James Karimi and Kimeli Korir continue to widen the gap behind on each section, including taking 2 stage wins. With championship points at stake, they ignored the pressure they were under, and with the car not missing a beat, they recorded their 2nd win of the season.
Two-wheel drive is too tight, because if you look at our gap between number 1 and number 3, we've got basically 6 points. Okay, so if you lose a position, then done. Too competitive, too competitive.
James eventually won by over 2 minutes from Dennis Mwenda. Only 5 cars finished, with the 2 VWs finishing ahead of the Levines. Imran and Mohammed Kana took 5th, and the 18 minutes lost didn't matter. On the championship board, James Karimi's win puts him ahead by 18 points. Joel Mushiri had done enough to move up a place to 2nd, and Niaz Bashir drops 2 places to 4th. 2 classics were taking part, both from the Aircraft Leasing Services stable, driven by 2 generations of the same family, led by this Porsche 911, which was last seen after it had rolled during the safari. The car has since been rebuilt in the UK and was being tested ahead of the East African Safari Classic, in which it will be entered later in the year. In the cockpit were Aslam Khan behind the wheel and his brother Ashad calling the notes. They made it to the end to take 14th place overall, extending their lead in the Classic Car Cup, but more importantly, learnt a lot about the car, including the need to get the weight distribution better balanced.
It was a lot of fun. It's a very responsive car and different from the Escort. I still enjoy driving the Escort because the Escort you can throw it around quite a bit.
Throwing the Escort around was Aslam's niece Samira Khan, whose day job is piloting 747s across the globe. Although she has navigated in the same car, this was her first attempt at driving, navigated by Raju Chaga. A result on this event was less important than learning the ropes, with the aim of encouraging more ladies to take part and establish an all-ladies team.
So this rally is my chance to prove that I can drive, and what I'd like to do if I do get the car is set up a rally team, a girls rally team, and it would be girls only, and that's my dream actually. I'd love to set up an all-girls rally team.
Despite struggling up the hill climb, Samira and Raju eventually finished 17th overall, which was far from last and an impressive debut outing. All in all, there were 5 ladies taking part, including the Bila makeup crew of Stella Masharia and Helen Shiri, who also made it to the end to celebrate their first finish of the season. There were still 22 cars running, mostly made up of Division 3 crews. And except for those who had broken away to the front, the remainder were battling it out for positions on the bottom half of the leaderboard. This is Kalfan and Abdul Athman, who were reduced to a snail's pace after blowing both front shocks. With new ones fitted, they were back in the race and went on to finish 20th. Nishit and Darshan Shah were forced to stop on the last stage when a rear drive shaft broke. They got going, driving slowly to the end to finish 16th, but what was important was it was their first finish in 6 years. One crew destined to make their way to the top are Anthony Tibu and Kavit Dave, who would have been well inside the top 10 had they not run out of brakes, punctured and broken their suspension.
We visited a lot of holes and a lot of ruts and a lot of holes and more ruts. That's why I broke both shocks. My drive shafts all buggered. Blew a tire, drove all the way on 3 tires and a rim. But we're here, so, and the car is fixed. So.
If that wasn't enough, they then got caught in a rainstorm, only to find their wipers weren't working.
Okay, there's a left somewhere.
They improvised by tying a shoelace to the driver's wiper, which Kavit pulled in between calling the notes.
Pull. Over brow into brow, right downhill. Pull.
In the car, they were relieved to have made it through.
They say rallying is boring.
They saved their best for last, setting the 5th fastest time through the final stage to eventually finish 15th. This was Dilraj and Savraj Bui's second ever rally, and at the speed they passed our cameras will not stay in Division 3 for long. They still need to harness their enthusiasm, which resulted in going off twice, the second time hitting a bank hard, breaking the suspension. They finished 13th but had lost what could have been 8th. Proving that consistency is the best recipe with a local crew of Jitendra Dokia and Gudu Panisar, whose only problem throughout the rally was a bent rim. They are still new to the sport and with each passing rally are becoming more confident, and finishing 10th was a major boost. The fastest crews in Division 3 were all at the front end of the rally, dicing for places amongst the leaders, and the outcome of who would come out on top was still uncertain. The drivers in Division 2 were, as expected, all at the sharp end of the rally, but with the season coming to an end, still need to prove they warrant the status, which is based on the stage times achieved. Anwar Pandya and Ken Masoni were certainly proving that they are strong contenders, and having failed to gain points in the 2 previous rallies, were anxious to finish this one.
We're trying to bring it home, and that's my main reason for today. I mean, I just need to bring the car home. I can't keep going on like this. I can't not always finish. I need to finish, man. That's why. That's the reason. There is no other reason.
Back out on the route, it was not looking good, and they appeared to be off the pace. The problem were the brakes. They didn't have any. They stopped and called for help, but it would come too late.
1 kilometer away from there. Only 1 kilometer. Call it a day. Because even if you get it now, what are you going to do?
Said Hamad and Victor Okundi had a disappointing start to the rally, where they punctured within the first 10 kilometers, plummeting them to the bottom of the leaderboard. The rest of the rally was spent recovering the time lost, and they stormed through the stages, overtaking car after car, eventually recovering a remarkable 16 places to finish 12th.